After a thrilling final tournament, we now turn our attention to Event 2 of the Marble Holiday Championships. Two teams race side by side on the M&H Raceway, and the winner of each race moves on to the next round. It's a single elimination tournament, so constant wins are key to earning this event's victory points. As always, Alex B is your host for this year's Holiday Championships and is proud to introduce today's lineups. Round 1 will start with Mistletoe versus Snow Troops and will end with Reindeer versus Ice. Let's not waste any time and begin the festivities with match number 1. We have Mistletoemaniacs versus Snow Troopers. Let's see who's going to take it. And they're off. It's a tight one. Who's it going to be? And it's the Snow Troopers that takes the win from lane 2. And Snow Troopers will be our first team moving on after a thrilling first race finish. Here we go, folks. We're now down to match 2. We got the Christmas Nighters versus Rudolf Rollers. These two teams faced each other in our last event. Let's see if we'll get the same results. And we're off once again. Looks like Rudolph has the lead, and yes, they'll take it. They'll take the win, and we'll be moving on. Let's take a look at that replay. And Rudolf Rollers seem to have dominated the race from start to finish. Christmas Nighters, unfortunately, didn't really have that much of a chance. It looked like, though, when that team won marble was certainly leading the pack. It doesn't matter how the other 3 marbles do, as long as the leader finishes first, the entire team moves on. Now moving on to match 3, we have Salty Scrooges versus Superstars. Let's see who's going to take it. It's a tight one, and the Salty Scrooges will take it, beating out the Superstars in lane 5. The Salty Scrooges are definitely infamous for their salty attitude, and it seemed to have paid off in today's race. It was another tight finish though between the two teams, but the Scrooges will be moving on to round number 2. And here we go with our final match of round 1. We have Reindeer Rampage versus Icy Blasters. Let's see who's going to take the win. And the gates release, they're off. And the Icy Blasters have a lead, and they'll take it all the way down lane number 2. And looking back at the replay, the Icy Blasters had a good start, and they were able to hold on to it all the way to the end. And the Icy Blasters are our final team, moving on to the semifinals. And here we go, folks. Here are the current standings. Let's see who will be moving on to the finals and who will be fighting for 3rd place. And let's get our semifinals underway. We got Rudolf Rollers versus Snow Troopers in our first matchup. And they're off. And the Snow Troopers look to have a slight lead, and yes they do. They take it all the way down to the finish line. And looking at back that replay, the Rudolf Rollers used 3 of their marbles to try to gain enough speed. Unfortunately though, it wasn't enough to beat the Snow Troopers. Certainly a very tight finish though, probably the tightest one we've seen so far tonight. Now moving on to our second semis match, we have Salty Scrooges versus Icy Blasters. Let's see who will be fighting Snow Troopers in the finals. They're off. And it's a tight one all the way down to the finish, but the Scrooges take the win in lane number 5. Let's look at that replay. Both teams had great teamwork in this race, as it looked like all marbles worked together to gain enough speed. And it was another tight match, but the Salty Scrooges just get the edge and will be battling Snow Troopers in the next round. Now for our 3rd place match, we have the Rudolf Rollers versus Icy Blasters. Let's see who's going to take our 3rd place spot. And they're off. It looks like the Icy Blasters have the win, and they take it, beating the Rudolf Rollers. And looking at that replay, ooh, only 2 marbles were able to stay in the lead. But nonetheless, they were still able to get 3rd place, so they'll be receiving 1 victory point. Certainly better than none. And folks, this is the moment you've all been waiting for. Snow Troopers and Salty Scrooges will be hosting our final matchup. Let's see who will be getting 1st place in this event. And they're off. Salty Scrooges has the lead. Wait, no, it's the Snow Troopers. And they get the final say down in lane 5. Let's get a look at that replay again. And the Scrooges had the slight lead, but unfortunately the leader of the group held back. I don't know what happened to him there. He probably just tripped. But that gave Snow Troopers the lead in the second half of the matchup, and they were able to take the win. And there you have it, folks. Snowtroopers take the top of the podium, followed by Salty Scrooges and later by Icy Blasters. And with that, Mistletoemaniacs and Snowtroopers lead the Holiday Championship standings with 3 victory points. If you enjoyed this event of the Holiday Championships, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Follow our social media down below for more M&H Racing, and subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss a future race. We'll see you all at the next event.